Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to Psalm 127. It answers the question, should I have children? And if I do, should I have more children? So what is the heart of God for making families? It's in Psalm 127. Unless the Lord builds a house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early and go to late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Now the part that gets to the family. Verse 3, 127:3. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate. So just to start, I've never heard someone say, I'm sorry I had children. I'm sorry I made this a priority in our family. No, listen to what the psalm says. He says, behold, look at this. This is important. Observe this. Stand and notice. Children are a heritage. That is, I inherit them. Children are a heritage from the Lord. So the principle is you cannot make a child. You can't even make one single cell. If I gave you a bunch of elements and all the time in the world and all the science in the world, science, for all their efforts, have never made life, not a single time, that was not derivative from other life. So let that sink in. Life making is the sole prerogative of God. It is only his to make. So, regarding children, even if they're yours, you didn't make them, but you can receive them in an inheritance from God. Only God can make a child. Now, the thing is, he distributes them into families, into the ownership and protection of a mother and father, grandparents, and even other siblings. The scripture says the fruit of the womb is a reward. Now, he doesn't owe this planet children. Children are over and above. The principle here is, if you put your hand towards raising a family, you will be rewarded in this family. The family is supposed to be a net blessing. Now, let me just say, I know that there is family pain, and I am sorry if you have experienced it. There certainly is a fall with which God does not prefer, and a rebellion that had consequences. So families, though they are subject to the realities of the fall, are generally a part of the beautiful design of creation. Families are part of the blessing. Children are the product of the giving of Eve to Adam, the eureka part of it, the wow, when God brought Eve. Children are the wonderful result of the magic and the magic moments of marriage. Verse 4, like arrows in the hand of the warrior are children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. So here's another blessing of children that young parents don't have the time or the energy even to consider. So when you're not young parents, that is when you're old, these children are a protection for you. So they go from being protected to being protectors of the family. They go from being protected by you to being protectors of you. And it's a wonder to watch their development as they develop from the posture of being dependent on you to you being dependent on them. So clearly, these arrows take flight against adversaries, even if one of those adversaries is the aging process. They also take flight against time. So they go into the futures. Arrows you can shoot into the future. The arrow of children starts in one's youth, but does not stop there. So these arrows are also helpful when you meet the enemy in your gate. So fortified cities had this point of vulnerability, the gate. It's because it had moving parts and complexity and different construction methods that gave it some access into the city. So this is a metaphor and not a metaphor. So when you meet your enemy at the gate, when you are at the place of increased vulnerability, perhaps when you are being attacked, the children that you have raised are now an asset of protection. They're like arrows that go forth to help you defend yourself and defend themselves. So the locked arms of the generations is a bond that is stronger than the crossed arms of one generation alone. So, in fact, having the arrows available is all that's needed in keeping the enemies outside and keeping the interaction one of a speaking interaction with the enemies rather than a fighting interaction. So, having the arrows, having a family, having this support system keeps you from having to go kinetic, raise the level of the conflict. Okay, so in conclusion, couple things. I so admire young families. I so admire the courage of young families. Young families are doing a noble, God-ordained, God-rewarded, future-enhancing, self-protecting, generationally enhancing, fruit-making activity. So the families are, in a way, a military reinforcing structure that protects one generation after another. So I envy also the blessing of young families. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, a reward. So there is no doubt that for the most part, the pathway to happiness and the reward is being bestowed by God to be most blessed. What you do, get married, have children, have a quiver full of children. So, should I have children? Generally, the answer is yes, yes, yes. And how many children should I have? A quiver full. Thanks for listening.